Hi, Roadrunners. I have three books that I want to tell you about today, and the first one is this one right here by Patricia McLaughlin called The Truth of Me. It's about a boy named Robbie whose parents are going out of town because they're kind of famous classical musicians and they travel the world, and they have very specific thoughts of like how they think things should be. And so Robbie doesn't have the greatest relationship with them, especially with his mom, but there is a person that he loves more than anybody, and that's his grandma. And in this story, when his parents go out of town, he gets to go stay with his grandma, and everybody thinks his grandma is just a little bit weird, including Robbie. But Robbie's mom thinks that her mom is really weird. Um, because Robbie's mom has this gift to be able to almost communicate with animals and tell them her thoughts and have them tell her thoughts. And Robbie doesn't really think that this is true. He kind of thinks his grandma just kind of makes things up and tells stories. Well, one day, Robbie and his grandma decide to go camping in the woods nearby her house, and she has an accident and she breaks her leg. And it's up to Robbie to kind of save the day. This is a really good chapter book. There's adventure, there's family, and it's just kind of like a nice, comforting book. So it's called The Truth of Me, and it's by Patricia McLaughlin. The second book is another Patricia McLaughlin book, and it's called Kindred Souls. And if I have to pick a favorite out of these two books, I would pick Kindred Souls. In this book, 10-year-old Jake and his family live on a farm that has been in his family for generations. And his grandpa, Jake, is really kind of getting old towards the end of his life. But Jake and his grandfather always go on walks every morning around the farm. And his grandfather tells him stories about the farm, and he especially tells him about this spot on the farm where the sod house was that he grew up when they first settled on the farm. And he just has a really strong attachment to it. And we find in this story that Jake and his grandpa are kindred souls. They have this strong connection because they feel things the same way. They want the same things. And when Jake's grandpa ends up in the hospital, Jake decides that he will build this sod house for his grandpa that he always talks about. But Jake is a 10-year-old boy, and it's hard for a 10-year-old boy to build a sod house. Then it's a good thing that he has a really good family. His brother, his sister, his mom, his dad, and the community come around Jake to help his grandpa's final dream come true. This is a really warm, heart-touching story, and I hope you like it. It's called Kindred Souls by Patricia McLaughlin. Now, for a little bit lighter of a story, this book is called Jasmine, Toguchi, Mochi Queen, and it is the start of a series about this girl named Jasmine Toguchi. And in this story, Jasmine, she lives in a place where there aren't... I was confusing this with another book that I recently read called The Year of the Dog. And this book, Jasmine Toguchi, she lives in California, and in her family they have really strong traditions with the Lunar New Year. And one of those has to do with making mochi. And until you are a certain age, you cannot make mochi. And Jasmine is not that age, but her older sister is. And you know how it is when you have an older sibling that can do things that you can't. They always let you know that they're older. And if you don't know what that's like, it's probably because you're the oldest. Well, Jasmine knows what that's like, and she is not going to stand for that. She wants to take part of making the mochi this year. And she tries to talk her mom into letting her help her, but her mom tells her no. But then there's part of making mochi where they have to beat the rice with almost like hammers. And that is something that the men in her family do. And so Jasmine decides that that is what she is going to do. She's going to break the stereotypes of what girls and boys can do, and she is going to make the mochi. This is a really good story because it has lots of a strong family, and it's just a good story about what you can do if you set your mind to it. All three of these books that I read that I've talked about today, I would recommend for grades second and third. They're those really good chapter books for second and third grade that have small illustrations and a nice size text. And so I think I would recommend all three of these books for second and third grade. These books are all available in our library at Reagan, and if you would like to put them on hold or check them out, please come see me. Keep reading, Roadrunners. Have a great day.